Hey guys, first weekend of February 2024, astrology, energy, what's going on out there? Well, things are about to go very deep. If you feel like we've been moving through a period of time where there has just been like an emphasis on power, intensity, transformational, like life-changing experiences, I'm telling you guys, we really haven't seen anything yet. This month of February is really bringing us through like a collective reset renewal process, a hero's journey, some might say, and it's going to be happening in 4 phases each week this month of February. A different phase of this transformative process is hitting. It's going to be activating come Monday, and this weekend we've got a Scorpio moon opposing Jupiter squaring the sun. This is also a very deep vibe coming through. So I mean, depth, intensity, power, seeking to understand the deeper truths about stuff, and transformation going on at like the core foundational levels. That's really the entire vibe right now. So if you find yourself in the midst of experiences that reflect that this weekend, it's probably why. Let's get into it, you guys. Let's talk about all that we have playing out this weekend and what things might be like as we move through this month of February. Welcome back to my channel, you guys. Today is Friday, February 2nd, 2024. My name is Aubrey. This is your astrological outlook of the weekend, where we are narrating the shift of the ages. This video is going to be about the energy for Friday, February 2nd through Sunday the 4th, but we're also going to talk a lot in this video about where this energy this weekend is transitioning us, what we are moving towards come Monday, and actually the chain reaction that is then going to unfold throughout the course of the month of February. You know, as I was mentioning, if you feel like we've been in the tides of change, if you feel like things have been a bit intense, a bit chaotic, you know, powerful and transformative experiences going on, we really are just beginning. We've only gotten like our toes wet in this energy, and February is about to be a powerhouse of transformative, life-changing experiences, and this is going to be hitting us on some real deep levels. This is like a psychic redo, or like it, you know, it's literally, I feel like, resetting our psyche. You know, it's a renewal that we have going on, and it's very specific the way that all of this is coming into fruition. Now, you know, as we are approaching this energy, which is this process, okay, is going to be represented by, and I've been talking about this in my last couple of videos, like 1 week after another week after another week after another week of some very intense alignments. First of all, we are going to have the remainder of the personal planets, besides the sun, which already went through this activation, come into exact alignment with Pluto, okay, at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And if you guys have been following along with the astrology, you know that we just hit a critical generational shift just this past month of January, just a couple of weeks ago, as Pluto entered the sign of Aquarius. Now, like, and this really put an emphasis, Pluto is power in all of its forms, and Aquarius, this is a sign that is about the future. It's ruled by Uranus. It's about dynamic and sudden change, but for the purpose actually of removing blockages to authentic growth so that some type of higher potential can be arrived at. It activates like a higher destiny within us, and anywhere that we have been unable to, you know, see or to reach or to move ourselves in that direction, this is where this force comes through and like puts us on that path, whether we like it or not. Uranus energy makes the changes for us we haven't been able to make for ourselves. So Pluto, having just moved into the sign of Aquarius, which is a 20-year transit, this is generational, this is going to define like the next 20 years of our experience. This is indicating like profound and powerful transformations to like move us forward and actually evolve us as a human collective in some capacity. And we talk about this, I'm not going to go too much further into detail in that regard in this video, but you know, that is kind of the whole emphasis of our entire month of February, because we're taking that sentiment, you know, that energy, that archetype, that idea of Pluto entering Capricorn, or I mean, no, Pluto entering Aquarius, and this, you know, this collective transformation, dynamic change, renewal process to align us, you know, with a greater ability to reach a future potential with this destiny activating energy. Well, as we have each of the personal planets one by one by one, week by week by week, come into the same alignment, it is going to like reset, regenerate, you know, like rewire also in the sign of Aquarius, recalibrate, but renew the energy associated with the personal planets, which, you know, this is Mercury, this is the mind, the mental energy, the mental body, and then followed by that we'll have Mars. This is like our energy body and our physical body. And then after that, we'll have Venus, which represents our heart center. In the midst of this process, we will also have the moon come into its first conjunction with Pluto at 0 degrees of Aquarius. And remember, when Pluto entered the sign of Aquarius, he did so in a conjunction with the sun. So that energy was like leading the way through this process. So we are about to have, over the course of the month of February, all of the personal planets representing all of the, you know, various aspects of our psyche on a very individualized personal level go through this process of regeneration, renewal, transformation, you know, rebirth. And then when we get to the end of that process, when Venus has the last planet in the row of planets going towards conjunction with Pluto, when Venus has finally completed that process, we will then move into energy the 4th week of February, where we have exact Venus-Mars conjunctions, this reintegration process, this reharmonization, this bringing things back together after perhaps some breakdown that went down when we were in the midst of this plutonic energy. And we will also have a Sun, Mercury, Saturn conjunction happen simultaneously, solidifying the transformational process, okay, that has been underway throughout the course of the past couple of weeks. So we are moving towards some very powerful stuff. This is going to be a very profound month, and like I said, you know, we've had a taste of this energy. The month of January was, of course, a very profound, very powerful month, very intense month as well. But this is the reality now, and we're in the season of, you know, these dynamic changes, and now we're really going to personally start experiencing this. And, you know, we're going to be experiencing it by way of just what's going on with us, but we're also going to experience it by way of the changes that are happening with the other people in our lives, and how that also alters our reality. Okay, 2024, this is in like a lion type of energy. We have arrived at the big show, the full moon in Leo that we just had, and a square to Jupiter, emphasizing this. Another thing that we have happening simultaneously this upcoming month, while we're going through this process, and perhaps as a reflection of this process, is a once in 20-year activation of the north node of the moon and Chiron, okay, the wounded healer teacher archetype. So this 4-phase process of renewal is also our collective hero's journey that I've also been talking about over the course of this past several months, especially since the nodes entered Aries and Libra this past summer. Healing wounds that have detached us from our authentic selves, our authentic purpose, and kept us off the path to like this greater destiny right now, in alignment with this Aquarian energy that's coming through. And with all the Pluto personal planet transits that we have happening simultaneous to an entire month, basically, that is being represented by this destined Chiron North Node Chiron energy, this could be, you know, the collective dark night of the soul that awakens the spirit within a lot of us and awakens us from a slumber that maybe had been keeping us from moving towards this greater authentic truth, or discovering this deeper potential, or seeing ourselves from a different perspective that opens up opportunities for us that maybe we had thought were lost, or, you know, just unattainable for some reason. This truly is going to be, most likely for a lot of people, a very life-changing month period of time as we move through the spring as well, awakening the spirit and also awakening the spiritual warrior. A lot of times when we have to go through those more dark night of the soul experiences, that's what we find on the other side, and that's actually the force that helps us, that we realize in retrospect helped guide us through that process. People are going to be finding themselves. You may find yourself, or a different side of yourself that maybe had just been latent for a very long period of time. And ultimately, things are going to be so much better for us. We're going to find ourselves at the end in such a greater place of, you know, fulfillment and like the meaning in our lives and the relationships in our lives, so much more compatible with who we really are and, you know, what's really meaningful to us and stuff like that. There is tremendous worth and value to be gained through this process that we are about to go through. Of course, in alignment with the Chiron archetype. Chiron also rules, you know, the gold of the soul, the alchemical process, transmuting states of victimhood into self-mastery. And as this becomes like a more collective theme that we experience as we move through this month and this period of time, we're going to be discovering value in places where maybe we never thought even to look in the past, okay? And there are indications, of course, Chiron, of this being maybe somewhat a painful like rebirthing process somehow. But as, you know, a reflection of the value that we gain, this will be in the form of courage, strength, wisdom, and personal power that we're like reclaiming somehow as a part of this process, despite or as a byproduct consequence of that which perhaps we suffer through as we navigate this energy, you know, the more difficult energy, we'll put it that way. The age, okay, of the victim narrative, like I can't do it because blank, that is over. Going forward, moving through this energy, it's going to become clear to us that if we are not doing something, it is because on some level we are choosing not to do that thing. And this is not energy that is going to support blaming external circumstances for, you know, the reason why we are not creating systems and processes to overcome challenges moving forward. This is energy with the North Node and Aries and Chiron there, like this energy is going to put us in situations that force us to overcome the things that we felt victimized and held back by in the past, okay? And through that process, that is how we gain the understanding, the wisdom, and the self-mastery to release ourselves from these cycles. Remember, as we begin this process of the empowerment of the Aquarian frequencies that are coming in right now or that are going to continue to grow over the course of the next couple of decades, and, you know, even further than that, because we're also moving into the age of Aquarius. To me, this Pluto Aquarius, right, this energy about the root and the core, I feel like this energy is rooting the Aquarius energy kind of like to our reality, okay? It's like anchoring this new energy to the current paradigm in a way that is going to grow and become, you know, more expansive and more tangible over the course of the next, you know, 2,000 something years. So we're literally like just beginning to move into this energy. And as a result of that, you know, the understanding, the awareness, the wisdom of how to no longer be controlled by situations where we have surrendered our power in the past. Like that's a fundamental initial lesson of this Aquarius energy, which makes perfect sense as to why it is being, you know, dispersed so collectively with a North Node Chiron Aries conjunction, which really to me is perfect in terms of like setting us up to move forward in this Aquarius energy. Like we're going to, as I said, you know, we're going to learn sides and dimensions and, you know, things that we have within ourselves that we may have been sleeping on or unaware of for very long periods of time. And that is going to be one of the things that really like assists in this paradigm shifting energy that is going to be the prominent theme moving forward. Nothing is going to be able to hold us back from going after what we really, you know, feel called to do or to become, or from expressing that potential within our soul that is seeking expression as we move towards this energy that is activating destiny, that is calling people forth into that higher purpose, because there's a role to play right now as this transition of ages essentially is underway. We're gonna, like I said, discover that we are capable of things that we maybe had never imagined for or of ourselves in the past. So, and this is where we are going in the energy come Monday. Of course, this is a video about the weekend, about where we're at now, but with now it's like, it's like coming into perspective when we know where we're headed, what this energy is going to be like, and the transition into this energy out of January, into February this weekend is this supersized Scorpio moon that we have going on opposite Jupiter, squaring the sun in Aquarius, right? Again, this Aquarius energy, that inner knowing, okay, that we gotta let go, that we gotta move on, that something's gotta change, that things are changing, whether we like it or not. And also, the moon in Scorpio opposite Jupiter and Taurus, like going that yearning for the deeper understanding, for the deeper connection, for even a spirit, like very deep spiritual connection. This is a very spiritual weekend as well. Psychic impressions, gut instincts, intuitive urges and hunches and stuff like that. Very, very prominent. Pay attention to that type of stuff. But there is great wisdom to be gained through, the rocks that we're turning over, or even like looking into the shadows, right? Even the darker emotions that we might be navigating are likely to lead to some type of expanded or broadened perspective that actually has a positive impact on us, somehow does something good for us as we move towards this process. But I do feel like this energy is kind of just like gearing us towards a little bit on that emotional, deeper internal level, like what's about to start coming mentally once we get into the energy of Monday. But generally I'm telling you, like, people are going to be just going deep about stuff to an unusual extent and searching for meaning, right? Purpose, value, the truth of things, of course, as we've been talking about, and being much more open to talking about new things and to looking at things from perhaps a different perspective. People are going to be honestly like seeking to broaden and deepen their perspective into things in ways that we really may be unaccustomed to, especially if you've been on this kind of like truth seeking or spiritual path journey for a while. It's going to be a very unusual experience when all of a sudden people that, may have never entertained anything that you had to say about any of these, more like metaphysical or spiritual or like woo type of subjects, all of a sudden are maybe asking you about it, or maybe more open to talking about it, or maybe more open to exploring it. That is going to be like another consequence of the way that the energy plays out this month, which I think is going to be, it's very interesting, okay? But this is also with this alignment happening in the sign of Aries, you guys. This is, Aries is the sign of the leader. When we've got a North Node Chiron conjunction in the sign of Aries, this is activating a destined period of time, though, where the leaders are the healers, are the teachers, okay, are the alchemists, are the masters on that spiritual level, on that soul level, like as a result of having lived these experiences, okay? So like, there are people out there that have been suffering a lifetime, okay? Their entire life having been this hero's journey, and literally every experience for the purpose of teaching them aspects of this hero's journey. And maybe, moving through that life and that experience, it's been very confusing as to why these things continue to happen and why they're in these circumstances, in these situations. But these are also the scenarios that are making the great leaders of this time, that are going to be the lighthouses for the rest of the collective as they and we all begin to awaken. And that in itself is a life purpose right now, okay? And if you feel like you're one of those people whose entire life has been a Chiron journey, a hero's journey, and maybe you sitting here like, I don't even know what my purpose is, I've never been able to discover my purpose. Maybe that's because it simply is to be an example of who we're all actually becoming right now. Maybe that's because at this point in time, the purpose is to be the wisdom through example, okay, to be the one who leads through your ability to understand, you know, what's going on a greater collective level right now. And those experiences were not for nothing. They were just for this specific moment in time that is being activated now. Universe needs people who have walked this path already to show the rest of the collective the way. So being the healer, being the teacher, being the guide through not your words, right? Not your words, but through your actions and your examples, as we face whatever perhaps collective hero's journey or dark night of the soul goes on right now, challenges. This is a very important role to play as we're going through this time as well. So we are going on a journey, you guys. This is the, you know, the last weekend that we have before this process kicks off. It is, you know, we do have that Jupiter moon opposition squaring the sun, could be bringing up some inner conflict, but ultimately, you know, all the depth, all the intensity, all of the transformative inner experiences, like there are blessings to come from this, okay? This is going to show us deeper and more profound layers of value and worth and potential and resources existing within us, and we are going to redefine the way that we view ourselves moving forward. It's also interesting, like on a symbolic level, as this energy is coming together. On Friday, we have the sun at 14 degrees of Aquarius. That symbol, that Sabian symbol, is a train entering a tunnel, and that's what this is. Like, we are headed for, you know, a couple weeks where we're going to be navigating the darkness. We may not be able to see the other side, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and that light is, you know, it's also, it reminds me of like the birth canal, you know what I mean? Like, this is a rebirth process. We are going for a trip through the underworld, but we are going to come back into the light on the other side, renewed, reset, recalibrated, re-energized, okay, and ready to move forth on this personal mission. All right, we are, you know, we're putting our time and energy personally into creating systems that can maximize our personal time, our resources, our potential, and our value and our growth going forward. That's the best way that we can personally navigate this energy right now. A lot of things are going to be out of our control, but what is not out of our control is our ability to be self-focused, self-governing, you know, self-motivated, and like consciously choose to do things that are facilitating our process of growth and transformation moving forward. So, you know, we've also got some of these personal planets that are about to go on their journey through the underworld. It's some interesting symbols that I feel like are kind of explaining and talking about this also. Mercury on Friday, 27 Capricorn, a mountain pilgrimage. Could feel like that over the month of February. Venus at 13 Capricorn, a fire worshiper, meditates on the ultimate realities of existence. Could feel like that as well as we move through this next period of time. And Mars at 22 Capricorn, a general accepting defeat gracefully. Could feel like that as well. There's a lot of surrender, a lot of detachment, a lot of loss that is going to go through or come along with whatever, you know, we are navigating as this hero's journey kicks in. Okay, we're talking about Pluto. That has a lot, you know, death and loss and things falling away, you know, the phoenix that needs to burn in the flames in order to be renewed. That's a big part of the plutonic energy as well. And purging, right? Like, we are going to have to let some things go in order to be renewed, in order to be, you know, refined and re-energized and reformed and all this stuff, reborn in such a way that promotes our ability to successfully move forth on the path that universe has for us moving into the month of March and the rest of the year. And it's like, just so you guys know, like, after we get through the month of February, it's still not going to be over. You realize we have a Uranus-Jupiter conjunction that is also pending. April, like, we need to familiarize ourselves with these energies and not be in a situation where we're like seeking for it to end, like waiting for it to end. Instead, we need to find the positive octaves of this energy and use it to empower, transform, grow and evolve ourselves. Like, I'm telling you, that is going to get you the best outcomes, and you're gonna feel the best about stuff, and you're gonna like feel like less is out of your control if that is where your focus is while we go through this period of time. So that's what I gotta say today, you guys. Energy of the weekend as we prepare to move through this very powerful month of February. One thing about Pluto rules power in all of its forms. You know, power is, again, this does not necessarily have to be a bad thing. You know, on a collective level, this is likely to represent dark night of the soul. People, you know, also, if you are strong mid-degree fire signs, this is going to happen as like 17 degrees of Aries. Leo, Sagittarius, you know, if you have between 15 and 20 degree, you know, stelliums, big planets, like ascendant, you know, stuff like that, you're probably going to be feeling this the most. But, you know, just as much as this energy is activating, you know, wounding, trauma, damage, like the activating the initial victim state, as Chiron energy does, because without that state of victimhood, without that pain, you can't learn how to turn that pain into power. You can't learn how to turn that victimhood into, you know, the self-mastery that represents like the gold of the soul that the Chiron archetype also is about. The Chiron point, where Chiron was discovered, that Sabian symbol is a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This is all about, you know, unlocking, again, like in alignment with Aquarius energy, like our highest potential, our soul fulfillment, self-mastery. But the initial phase of that process is this, you know, this wounding. But, you know, why I'm bringing that up and reiterating that again is because the other side of that is the mastery. So while a large portion of the collective will be experiencing the wounding associated with the Chiron energy, there is also going to be a large portion of the collective that is going to be experiencing the leadership dimension of the Chiron energy as well. So the healers, the teachers, the spiritual warriors, the alchemists are going to be like empowered by like a leadership energy that is going to be revolutionary. Like it's gonna be weird. It's gonna be a weird shift. And then, but, you know, to the same extent, because they are going to be necessary because of the amount of, you know, collective Chiron wounding that is also manifesting at this period of time. So it's like universe is presenting, you know, yes, it might be a collective dark night of the soul, but there are also going to be ample guides that have been preparing for this for lifetimes to guide the way through the process. The Great Awakening, you guys, narrating the shift of the ages. It all comes back together. That's what I have to say. Let's grab a synchronicity card now. Let's get one more word of advice from God, Spirit, Universe. What do we need to keep in mind? What should we, you know, just hold close to our heart as we go through this weekend? I do think it should be a good weekend. Watch like overeating and drinking, overindulging, taking things to excess when we got a Scorpio moon, opposite Jupiter and Taurus, definitely a thing. Also, people are probably going to be real stubborn. Yeah, okay, and here is our card. It says attitude adjustment, which that's exactly where we're headed. To an attitude adjustment and a full over energetic makeover. If you knew the gift of God, you would accept the living water. John 4:10. You are refusing to accept truths of your own psychological capacity to be independent and free from limitation, trouble, pain, and misery. See inspiration, truth, healing, guidance, or whatever else you need for your spiritual growth and renewal. Renewal is the last word in our card. The synchronicity cards do it again, you guys. They somehow took this entire video that has taken me all of these words to say and put it into this one little paragraph that is the perfect memo for us as we are you know, moving through this weekend and on the precipice of this journey that is going to activate come next week with the exact, and this is what we're talking about. When Monday hits, we are going to have Mercury, Pluto, 0 degrees of the sign of Aquarius. And you know what, guys? I will be here to talk about it. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. I will see you then, my beautiful friends. Have a beautiful weekend. Have a wonderful weekend. Make the most of it. You know, wisdom gained through the depths that we're going to in this energy. Great for researching, great for digging into things, great for seeking, you know, to understand truth, all that type of stuff. And I'll see you guys on Monday. And until then, bye.